William Becker and Paul Green opened the first Motel 6 at the peak of America's motel culture. Coined in 1925 by the owner of Milestone Motel in San Luis Obispo, the term motel, a combination of motor and hotel, was to become an icon of American culture. With the widespread adoption of the car, these uniquely American, no-frills accommodations emerged as shelter for travelers exploring the country. After World War II, soldiers returned home and the country went through a collective period of healing and growth. One result was the baby boom, an explosion of births accompanied by a growing appetite for leisure and family life. The creation of the interstate highway system, initially motivated by a need to move military assets from coast to coast, helped fuel the American wanderlust. It was a 48,000-mile network of reliable, high-speed roads that connected every major city in the nation. Demand skyrocketed at its hubs and off-ramps for reliable, affordable accommodations. Travelers looked for comfort and security that could be relied on to be the same from New York to Los Angeles. Motel 6 emerged to service that demand. To keep their offering affordable, Becker and Green landed on $6 per night, hence the name Motel 6. 3 years after its founding, Motel 6 expanded beyond its roots in California. The following year, Becker and Green opened 10 more locations, and in 1968, they sold Motel 6 to an investment group. Through the 1970s, Motel 6 expanded east. By 1980, the chain had grown to 300 locations, coast to coast. In 1985, Motel 6 was sold again, this time to Kohlberg, Kravis & Roberts, a firm now more commonly known as KKR. A year later, KKR introduced one of the longest-running and most famous ad campaigns in history, cementing the place of Motel 6 as an icon of roadside Americana through the 1980s and 1990s. For many of us, the disarming friendliness that Tom Baudette's voice saying he'd leave the light on for us conjures up fond memories of road trip adventures and the promise of a place to stay along the way. Between 1985 and 1990, the chain began to expand by acquiring competing chains, only to be acquired itself by the French-based firm Accor. Accor continued to expand and upgrade Motel 6 through renovations and improvements. In 2012, Accor sold Motel 6 to the New York-based private equity firm, the Blackstone Group. By 2017, Motel 6 had become the largest privately owned hotel chain in America, with more than 1,400 locations. The leadership of Motel 6 was always a small family of colleagues. Many of those leaders have been there since the beginning of the KKR era. That all changed after the events of 2017. 9 of the most senior executives, each with 15 to 30 years of experience shepherding the chain and guarding that brand consistency, abruptly left the company. People who defined the corporate culture were people like their CEO, COO, CIO, EVP, and General Counsel, their lead attorney, and their VP for safety and security. Few of the old-timers stayed behind. Many moved laterally to other Blackstone properties such as Extended Stay, Vantage, and American Campus Communities. This brings us to the events of 2017.